Hello, Meigs County. Today is Monday, April 7th, 2025. This is the Meigs County Podcast. I'm your host, Keith Klinger, and I live in 10 Mile. Watts Bar Lake water level is at 739 and a half feet, up a little bit, probably because of that rain that kept me up the last couple of nights. It's going to be cold this week, but I'm not too mad about that. I think this is going to be our last real frost. I got some tomatoes and some peppers and a few other things I'm ready to get in the garden. By the way, I talked to a few local business owners, uh, and they're going to have their starts in later this week, maybe this weekend. It's a good time to go to your local business owner, buy your tomatoes, buy your peppers, buy whatever you put in your garden instead of going to Walmart or Lowe's. You know, you can save a couple bucks buying your starts at the big chain stores, but you're going to spend $10 in gas. So you might as well stay in town, buy from a local business, support a local business, probably get a better quality product, and you save gas money. It's a no-brainer. Business highlight of the week, Mr. Twister. It's on River Road in 10 Mile. It's the best burger in 10 Mile. That's not just my opinion. That's the opinion of a lot of people. I actually had the privilege a couple years ago getting a tour of the kitchen from the owner. And I'll tell you what, they run a clean kitchen at Mr. Twister. I've been in the back end of several restaurants over the course of my life. And I found that they were actually probably a lot cleaner than a lot of the chains that you go to. And the best part about Mr. Twister is the ice cream. I mean, it's good ice cream, but isn't all ice cream good ice cream? Maybe there's a flavor you don't like, but I don't know if I've ever had really bad ice cream. So uh, I remember taking the family down there, sitting outside on the picnic table and just having ice cream cones, spending the time with wife and kids. It's a good time. So I've got a mission for you. I want you to go down after dinner or maybe when you're driving by, go to Mr. Twister, go order some ice cream, sit on the bench and have an ice cream. But before you go order, I want you to take this thing. I want you to leave it in the truck. I want you to spend time with your family, or go with a friend, or heck, even go by yourself. Meet your neighbors, spend time with your friends, build community. And all you got to do is you got to leave this thing in the car for 15 minutes. What's the worst thing that's going to happen to you? You're going to sit outside and enjoy an ice cream cone for a few minutes. It's not a bad idea. So go down to Mr. Twist this week, get an ice cream cone, and leave this stupid thing in the car and do some good family or some community development. Current events. Uchee Meadows Nursery is now hiring. I always like to put this up here whenever a local business is hiring. If you've ever been interested in working in a nursery or you're looking for a job right now, you could go ahead and go to ucheemeadows.com and apply. Plant propagation, native plant production, nursery maintenance, sales assistants. It sounds like they're looking for pretty much everybody. That they can hire right now. I'm trying to stop my uhs and ums. I know there's a few of them in here, but I'm working through it. So I'm going a little slower today. I apologize. Next up, Legal Aid of East Tennessee. They're going to actually be coming on the 15th, but I got the flyer today, so I thought I would go ahead and put this out there to y'all. It's for Tennesseans and older adults with legal problems like consumer, housing, veterans affairs, benefits, domestic violence, adoption. I have had the misfortune of knowing a lot of lawyers over the course of my life, and lawyers are encouraged to do some pro bono or free work for a certain number of hours every year. These legal aid organizations generally have some very good lawyers. They are good lawyers. They're trying to fill out their free hours for the year, and you get pretty good service from them. So if you've got a legal problem, I think that this would be a good opportunity. If you can't afford a lawyer, in civil matters, one is not provided for you. So this would be a good thing for you to go down and take a look at if you need some help for that. All right, what's next on the notes here? Current events. Still doing current events. Wednesday, 10 a.m., story time at the library. Friday at noon, Meigs Health Council meeting in the City Hall conference room. And of course, this Thursday at 7 p.m., there's going to be a county commission workshop. As always, if you have news to share, a business to highlight, or a topic you want me to cover, you can reach me here on Facebook or email me at meigscountypodcast@gmail.com. Speaking of the county commission, let's go over some highlights of the last meeting so you know what's going on in your local government. This is, well, let me back up. Every time they have a workshop or a meeting, they usually do a workshop and then they do a meeting. So two meetings a month, basically. They put out a packet. And in that packet is the agenda and any supporting documentation that they're going to go over. And quite often, there's something to do with the budget or a budgetary report or something like that in there. So this is the trustees' RDB report. RDB stands for Revenue, Disbursement, and Balance. First thing, is this a scan? It's a lot easier to save the report in a format we can all read. I don't know if anybody at the county building wants me to help them save some time and make it easier for everyone to read. But if you're printing something out and then scanning it in instead of exporting it as a file, you're wasting a lot of time and effort. And I'd be happy to come down. It'll take me 5 minutes to teach you how to do it in a little easier way. And the public will be able to read it better. So if anybody in the finance department wants a little help with that, I'd be happy to come down and take 2 minutes to teach you how to do it. That being said, I ran this thing through a character recognition program because it's just a picture. Your computer won't read it unless you do some special stuff to it. Then I used AI into something that that we can all read. This is what I got. That being said, honestly, I'm not quite sure what I'm looking at. I use straight line accounting in my business, and this complicated government accounting confuses me. Did we really go in the hole? Like if you look at the county general beginning balance and end balance, did we really go in the hole over $900,000 just in the month of February? I read this as the county running over a 1.8 million loss for just 1 month. That can't be right. Can someone more familiar with this complicated accounting explain this in the comments? All I'm trying to do is figure out how much Meigs County owes and how much our deficit is growing. Honestly, I'm lost. I'm having a hard time finding these numbers, and if anyone can direct me to a resource for this, please comment below. Get that off there. We appointed a new person to the Regional Planning Commission. Now, here's a good story for you. I asked what the Regional Planning Commission does, and I was told it helps people figure out what to do with their property. I think most landowners know exactly what they want to do with their property, so I asked a few follow-up questions, and I have to give credit to the mayor and the commissioners. They took the time to have a discussion and explain enough so I could ask a better question. So the question I came up with was, is the Southwest Planning Commission an NGO? Now let me explain to you how I do things. I think of a question, I ask the council, I listen to their answer, then I go home and research the answer they gave me. I'm not trying to make anyone look bad. I'm trying to educate the citizens of Meigs County. Everyone on the commission and the mayor, they're all citizens of Meigs County. My goal is to educate them along with the rest of you. The answer I was given was no. The Southwest Regional Planning Commission is not an NGO. So I went home, I did my research, and here's a screenshot. of their About Us page. They are, in fact, an NGO. What is an NGO? It's a non-governmental organization. In this case, it's a group of people who take public and private money with the goal of advancing a specific agenda. The government of Meigs County is sending taxpayer money and representatives to be lobbied, to be influenced by this non-elected entity. I'm not trying to embarrass the commissioner that gave me the wrong answer or the commissioners who misunderstood the role of this organization. I'm trying to provide the information the commissioners need to make an informed decision. In this case, it is clearly unethical to send taxpayer money and representative to a non-elected organization that wishes to influence local policy. Now let's see if they actually do anything about it, right? Next up, poll results. I learned a lot from the poll I ran on whether or not Meigs County should use AI to monitor its citizens. Anyone can look at the poll and see the citizens of Meigs County overwhelmingly voted against the local government using AI to monitor us. But I learned a lot more, and it's not what you might expect. For example, less than 1,000 people voted in the poll, but over 7,000 people viewed it. That means 6,000 people viewed the poll, probably had an opinion about it, but didn't want their name attached to a vote. With the sample size, less than 1,000 votes, it was too small to make any difference. I couldn't take it to the commission. It was irrelevant for me to bring up the results. But next time I'll see if I can run a blind poll, and we'll see how many votes we get from that. But I learned even more. What's maybe even more important, a lot of people, including myself, accuse the county commissioners of not reading to the end of the page, so to speak. We have a tendency to accuse them of not having a full grasp of the entire concept they're voting on. But I have to tell you that based on how I wrote the poll, Meigs County citizens are just as guilty as our government officials for not reading to the end of the page. I took 30 minutes to write those 2 sentences at the beginning of the poll. I wanted to be extremely accurate. I wanted to be extremely succinct with what I said and how I said it and what I asked and how I asked it. I pulled a quote directly from the Decker Industries About Us page. And at the end of the last commission meeting, I asked my questions as a journalist, like I was talking about the NGO earlier. And then I had to stop, and I told them I'm going to take my journalist hat off for a second, and I'm going to put on my concerned citizen hat. I'm going to admit to y'all I'm not the best public speaker. When I'm sitting here on the podcast, I'm having a one-on-one conversation with you. Lots of people may watch the podcast, but this is a conversation from one person to another, and it's completely different standing up in front of a room full of people and speaking. I'm trying to get better at the podcast, trying to get better at public speaking, but I still get nervous, especially public speaking. My heart was beating. I had a little bit of tunnel vision, start to get a little bit of cold sweat. I didn't mean any disrespect to the commission when I didn't stand up when I asked my question, but my knees were shaking a little bit. So I don't know if my words came out like this or not, but this is what I meant to say. And you should pay attention because this is a pretty big threat to Meigs County. And no one picked up on it from the polling question. So here's a screenshot from the Decker Industries About Us page. Let me zoom in to the bottom because this is their history and their mission page. So what's their mission statement? Okay. Compliance equals equity. Simply put, their mission statement is compliance equals equity. I'm gonna take a step back again and tell you how I think and how I work. A lot of people criticize me for being new to Meigs County. They say I don't know how things work around here, and they're right. That's why I'm going to county commission meetings. That's why I'm getting to know y'all so I can learn how things work around here. I like it here. I don't want to change things. If I was going to change anything, it would be to undo some rules and regulations and turn back the clock a bit. I grew up in rural Missouri, just about the same latitude as here. I grew up with hills and trees and hot summers. I spent more time in the woods than I did watching TV while I was growing up. It's unfortunate that a lot of people like to say I'm from California because I lived there for 20 years, but I only lived there long enough to save some money so I could move out here to the woods with my wife and my dog and have a big garden and raise a few animals. But yeah, the majority of my experience on how the public sector works comes from California. Compliance equals equity. Now, I watched California turn from one of the coolest places to live into an absolute cesspit for the dregs of humanity. Not a week would go by without me seeing somebody take a dump on the sidewalk. Ever see somebody shoot up heroin or smoke crack? I have. That was almost a daily occurrence, just walking down the street. How did that happen? Socialism, Marxism, communism, big government, whatever you want to call it. It goes by a lot of different names, but the end result is the same. You see, for them, it's not about equal opportunity. It's not everybody having the same opportunity to achieve everything. It's about equal outcome. No matter how good you are, they're going to drag you down so that everybody's the same. I walked down Fifth Avenue where this Decker Industries company is located. I've been down that street 100 times if I've been down it once. It used to be a safe place to walk at night. That's where all the fun places were to hang out when I was in the Navy. Now you'd never go there by yourself after dark. That open drug use and defecation I was talking about, this is exactly where you go to see it. Compliance equals equity. Those homeless druggies I just mentioned, they all had smartphones paid for by the taxpayer. They were all receiving some kind of government benefit for food and money. There was a government study I read once that said, it got buried real quick, but it said that 80% of the homeless in Southern California wanted to be homeless. Why would you want to go to work when you get paid to do drugs and party on the beach all day? Compliance equals equity. No matter how hard you work, no matter how hard you try, no matter how much you save, these people want to take it from you until every citizen is the lowest common denominator. So yeah, maybe I don't know how Meigs County works just yet, but I know exactly how California works. And this is how it happens. Some social Marxist with a smile on their face has a product or service that solves a problem for a local government they didn't even know they had. Next thing you know, taxes go up. Then they go up again. Then they go up again. Let me ask you a question. Once the county figures out everyone that's running a short-term rental and changes their property tax, how long will it be until they figure out that since it's a business, they should be paying personal property tax on every stick of furniture in that house? That's another thing. And then there will be another thing. And then there will be another thing. And before you know it, half of your paycheck is going to state and local fees. I paid $500 to register the truck that cost me tens of dollars. State licensing, gas tax, $1 a gallon, state gas tax. I paid 10-11% in state income tax on top of the same. Oh, Tennessee doesn't have state income tax. This is how it happens. They're going to start taxing you left and right. So on top of sales tax, it was just as high as Tennessee. The state of California took between 35 and 40% of my income every year on top of federal taxes because compliance equals equity. Everyone had to be the same. They had to take all my money and give it to everybody else so we could all be the same. I don't want that to happen in Meigs County. Now, I'm not afraid of AI. I know how to use it somewhat. I have a couple of paid subscriptions. I use it for work. The threat isn't AI, it's how we use it. I saw a bumper sticker the other day that said, "Don't California my Tennessee." Well, this is exactly how it happens. It starts small. It starts slow. And then before you know it, half your paycheck is gone and it's not safe to walk down the street. 27 years goes by real quick after you look at it. Anyway, that's it for me. As always, any elected official is welcome as a guest on the program to explain their side of the story or educate me on anything I get wrong. Please contact me here on Facebook or email me at meigscountypodcast@gmail.com. Thanks, and we'll see you soon.